So what happened to me? What happened to me during the process? I'm going to quickly talk about the first 4 days. So up until day 4, we're practicing what's known as Anapana, which is basically just focusing on this area here and really trying to refine our focus and our awareness to this small area located here, feeling for the sensations, feeling for the subtle vibrations, which are actually everywhere around the body. But because our mind is so gross, we cannot tune into the subtleness of the body. So that's why the environment is hospitable for doing the work. That's why there's silence, there's no distractions, there's no technologies. So we are able to bring our awareness to this really small point and just tune in for the subtle vibrations. But of course, it's not as easy as that. When we're trying to tune in, oh, a thought, boom, and we start thinking and we don't even realize we're thinking, and we've gone off into a trail of thoughts from the future, from the past, and then they'll get to a point where we're like, oh, I'm meant to be focusing here, and we come back to the breath, we come back to respiration, we come back to sensation. So yeah, the first 3 days are quite challenging because you haven't done the technique yet. Obviously, being my third time, I knew what was coming, so I knew to just hold on and keep going. But this brings up a lot of stuff for a lot of people because usually we're so distracted by things and we never actually get to face and see what's actually going on. So yeah, there was a lot of thoughts going on, of course. A lot of insights, though. I can confirm a lot of insights of the future. Of course, I'm big on the future. That's my main thing. I've got the Aquarian mind, which is very very futuristic, and I'm always plotting and scheming and downloading what is to come, maybe fishing from the subconscious or the etheric realm. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, a lot of stuff about the future, a lot of stuff about astrology as well. And I know I keep talking about astrology videos coming soon, astrology videos coming soon. Look, when I get to a place where my feet are on the ground and have some sort of stability in my life, I'm going to purchase a whiteboard and I'm going to do videos really breaking down astrology, the science of astrology, in layman's terms, so people can really, if people really want to find out more about themselves and how things function, on the universal level, I'm going to break that down by means of astrology in a way that people will be able to connect with. So yeah, that's coming soon for sure. So yeah, there was a lot of stuff, about acceptance of myself and my body and stuff like this. A few struggles with that one. Yes, this was interesting. So I was a bit nervous. Because I already sat Vipassana twice, and I know the power, I know the strength of day 4. I know the strength of day 4 when we actually sit there and do the technique of Vipassana, which Goenkaji guides us through, which is powerful. Oh my days. If you haven't watched my other video on my Vipassana experience, my first one, definitely go check that out. But I was a bit nervous. I was like, have I been working hard enough? Because I had that single room, which actually, turned out to be a gift and a curse. It was a gift because, I like my own space, I need my own space, and actually this journey that I've been on for the last year or so, more than a year, I haven't actually had my own room. So it was really nice to be given my own room. Thank you, Sky. And but it was a curse because your boy was sleeping a lot. Now, this isn't all bad, I guess, because when you come to Vipassana, you can kind of use sleep as a form of escapism. Like I said, we usually use our phones to escape our mind, the process of the mind and stuff like that, or whatever else, whatever vice we have. So we're working a lot from the subconscious here. So we're either meditating or sleeping. So if you're just in the meditation hall, you're walking around, there's not much to. You just have to face yourself. So sleeping is a nice way to kind of change the dynamic. But a lot of work is done in the sleep actually, and I'll touch on that later. But yeah, the sleep is really insightful, and yeah, a lot of If you've been to Vipassana, you know what I'm talking about. Obviously, because we've wiped away all the distractions, so we're really able to tap into really what's going on. So, but yeah, I was kind of sleeping a lot, I was wearing my watch, and because I knew the timetable from previous times, I'm not going to say I manipulated the timetable, but I kind of knew when I had to be there and when I didn't have to be there. So I went for a quality over quantity in terms of my meditation. Instead of going there all the time and burning myself out, I went there when it was, when I had to be there, and I made sure that I done it as best meditation as I can. But other than that, I was going off for little half-hour naps a lot of the time. And when it came to day 4, I was like, man, have I done enough? I've been sleeping too much. And that day as well, I ate quite a lot for breakfast, and I was feeling a bit heavy. The peanut butter got me. And by the way, I was rotating with the breakfast. Obviously, if you've been to Vipassana, you know what I'm talking about. You got the oat, you got the porridge, you got the cereal, you got the fruit, you got the toast. So and the peanut butter's there. So I mean, I love peanut butter, but it's not that conducive for meditation for me. That's personally what I think and what I feel. Kind of makes the digestion a bit sluggish, and these sort of things you really feel when you're in the meditation. So I think that morning I had some porridge with some peanut butter, and it kind of made me a bit heavy. It's funny because the days I was having the heavy breakfast, the next day I would just have 4 oranges. I would have 2 oranges, take my time, and have another 2. But because as an old student, and when I say old student, I mean someone who's sat in a 10-day course prior to the one we're on now, you're not meant to eat after midday. You're not allowed to eat after midday. So the day I was having just the oranges, or in the evening I was really thinking about consuming the peanut butter the next day to help ground me. So I was kind of like, me, I'm extreme. So like one day I was having a heavy breakfast, one day light, one day heavy. So anyways, the point I was getting at was I was nervous. Day 4, I had this big breakfast, I was sleeping a bit too much. I was thinking, have I worked hard enough at Anapana? Have I worked hard enough at tuning in and narrowing down that area to the subtle vibrations of this area? So, and I was like, this is the big day, this is the big day. But guys, I can confirm, I went in there, Goenkaji done his magic, and after that, an hour and a half session of the guided Vipassana, I left there, literally my jaw, I spoke about this in the other video, got the jaw clenching going on, the teeth grinding, not so much grinding, it's more like just a few taps and stuff like that. But there's a lot of aches going on here, which caused the aches in the neck as well. I've kind of, as soon as I got here from the neck down, I relieved myself of a lot of tension, but it just seems to be this area here. And after that, the guided meditation, the Vipassana, you walk out of there, I walk out of there doing these baby steps. Just doing these baby steps, you can just like feel your whole body, you've gone through the whole body, all the sensations. So those sensations we're feeling here, we feel throughout the whole body. And just walking outside and just the whole body relax. I say that on day 4, I personally experienced a deep internal cellular massage of dreams. That's what one experiences. You can't get that experience anywhere else, but after day 4 and going through this process, my whole body is just relaxed and my jaw's like this. And I'm looking around, I'm walking around and just like, you're just in pure stillness and pure bliss, and your body's just like liberated of all tensions or anything that's not meant to be there, and you finally tuned in and your body's saying thank you. And it's quite similar to being on mushrooms. I think I mentioned that in another video. You just kind of step out there and it's just like this presence, this level of presence and purity and peace and stillness. It's pretty powerful. So pretty much from day 4 till day 8, I was on such a high. I know we're meant to remain equanimous, but I was on this real high because guys, coming here, we go through a digital detox. We go through a digital detox, a dopamine reset, being away from technology or these external stimulations that are, you know, playing with the chemicals in our brains, the neurons or whatever it is. We take a step back from that. So naturally, you know, the first couple of days are rough because we're kind of adjusting. It's just like fasting, you know, once you step away from it and you come back to the body's pure state, you experience something completely blissful. So yeah, alongside that digital detox, that dopamine reset, I'd say yeah, from day 4, because when you do Vipassana, it takes you away from the thinking mind and locks you into the body. So the process of doing the technique kind of locks you into the body, and there's not really any space to think for thinking at this period. So by the time you come out of there, you're more so into your body and out of the thinking mind, and all that thinking you were doing for the first 3 days has subsided a little bit, and you experience this kind of, like I said, I was on a high from day 4 to day 8. All these realizations, all these insights. I really wanted to get on the phone to a few people and share some stuff, and like I said, more stuff about astrology was coming up, all these kind of insights of how I'm gonna lay out, you know. Anyways, but yeah, what happened to me, the struggle that I faced was, yeah, day 8, something happened to me. I think I am quite weather dependent. I love the sun. You know, if I wake up in the morning and see blue skies, I'm like, wow, today's gonna be a great day. I love the sun shining on my skin. I have a lot of sun energy in my chart. Maybe because I'm half Egyptian, I'm more, you know, attached to the sun more. You know, maybe it's in my DNA that I'm meant to be in the sun. But yeah, day 8, it was grey and it was rainy. So when, you know, if you're not in meditation and you're not sleeping, you know, it's nice to walk around the woodlands and just kind of, you know, be in the sun and, you know, walk barefoot, even though that's breaking the rules, but whatever. I don't advise that, by the way. It's best to keep to all the rules. Maybe I'll talk about rule breaking in a second. But yeah, it was kind of grey, and so yeah, I was doing a lot of sleep on this day. On day 8, I was going in for a lot of sleep, and yeah, I just wasn't kind of feeling right by the afternoon, evening, and then we had the discourse, and Goenkaji, I don't know, it wasn't, I guess it wasn't that intellectually stimulating, I think, on day 8. And I don't know, I was kind of, when it came to the meditation after the discourse, I was sitting there and I was just really agitated. My mind was really agitated and I couldn't sit there and do the technique. And for the first time ever in my, you know, the 3 courses I've sat, I just couldn't meditate. And I was just sitting there, and I just couldn't wait till it was over. And when it was over, it was only the 30-minute meditation, the last one. I was walking around the woodlands and I was calling on the ancestors. I was calling on my guides, my angels, whoever's out there working with me. I was saying, look, whatever's going on, whatever this hurdle is, like, please just like help me overcome this. Like, give me some sort of sign. Just like, please. I just felt this unease and agitation, and I wanted to like move through it. You know, it took me out of that bliss I was feeling for, you know, this 4 days. And anyways, I made it to sleep. Had a long hot shower in the evening at night time, and I went to sleep, and I woke up day 9 in the morning with this very clear recollection of this dream that I had, that I was punching up my dad. Now, some of you might think, oh my god, that sounds like a nightmare, but guys, it wasn't. I was punching up my dad, I was throwing him around the room, but it wasn't so much about the violence, it was about the verbalization. So like I said, a lot of work is done in the dreams here. A lot of work is done in the dreams, and I'm not the only one. Upon confiding with others after the course, a lot of people were having similar things. So I was kind of, I'm not going to get into what I was saying, but I was kind of voicing a lot of stuff that, you know, I probably never said to my dad. And really and truly I should, you know, express how I feel, and, you know, about the pain that I've been harboring my whole life. And I remember very specifically the stuff that I was saying to him in the dream alongside the punching. So that was a nice release. and I actually woke up on day 9 I was feeling pretty good. I was feeling pretty good, like I'd, you know when you do something and you get it off your chest, you're feeling nice. So, and then day 9 I experienced all these kind of strange emotions, and I say strange emotions because if you know me, yeah, I'm not that in tune with emotions other than rage. Rage is pretty much all I feel, and I'm coming to accept that now, that I do have a lot of rage in me. Obviously, if you've watched my prior videos, you can see that 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 fire, that internal fire that's like wanting to come out. And anyways, yeah, I started feeling all these emotions, and I went through this strange day 9, and anyways, the last 2 days were quite difficult. I really just wanted to speak and stuff. So a big highlight for me was on day 5. Goenkaji's discourse was so powerful. He was touching on, the cycle of how to eradicate the cycle of birth and death, which obviously is what I'm into. The study of the soul and reincarnation, and how do we get out of this mess? How do we stop incarnating into this hellish dimension of Earth? Why do we want to be here in this imperfect training ground? Like, there's other dimensions to explore, and I struggle with accepting the fact of being human. I really just don't resonate with earthly matters. So I'm really trying to make it back home, to the true home, wherever that is, and whichever spiritual dimension. So when he started touching on these things, which I had forgot prior to this course, yeah, he was mentioning stuff about the cycle, and why we keep reincarnating here is because we haven't it cleared our sankharas, and the sankhara means reaction. So this is the whole journey of Vipassana, is to when you're in the meditation, is not to react to any sensations, to remain equanimous. And basically these old sankharas come to the surface, and this is how we heal ourselves from the subconscious layers, from the subconscious level, from the deep layers, which actually leads to liberation, and as we go further, enlightenment and whatnot. But anyways, and I was really like, oh my god, wow, this is the stuff I'm into. It made so much sense. And then he's talking about pain, and I was having a look around the room, and I was seeing that people are sitting on mountains of cushions just so they can sit in a meditation. And I've already worked through so much pain on previous sittings, to a point where my sitting posture is really good. I can sit open-legged, I can sit for an hour with no pain, and I'm thinking, I need pain to work on so I can be equanimous. Of course I have the tensions here, but there's nowhere too much to pinpoint the pain here. It's quite strange, and the teachers don't really seem to have answers for this sort of thing. So in this moment when I saw the discourse, I was like, right, I got rid of my cushion, because they give you a little blue cushion and a little back support for your to sit on your bum, and I got rid of all of it. So yeah, I was actually sitting from day 5 evening to the end of the course just on the floor, cross-legged for an hour. And yes, it did bring up a lot of pain that I did remain equanimous to in my middle back. But yeah, that was quite a highlight for me, the fact that I was able to sit for a whole hour on the floor, because to sit in meditation, it's good to have some sort of your bum lifted a bit, so your posture can naturally be like that. So yeah, that was powerful. So on day 10, when we broke our noble silence, things changed a lot. So yeah, day 10, day 11, the meditation went way off, because speaking to people, all of a sudden the energy has gone from complete silence to everyone speaking, all these energies mixing and cultivating, and all these vibrations everywhere. And we're also allowed to eat in the evening on day 10, to help ground the energy. And going back into the meditation hall, man, it was really difficult. And you got so much resistance to meditation all of a sudden, because you just want to get out there and continue speaking to this person and that person, because there's so many beautiful souls here. And I think on day 11, when people started to leave, and because I was staying here to serve, I really struggled to meditate. and my awareness, that deep, that I told you, the day 0 to day 4, when we're doing Anapana, refining our awareness to that subtle vibration, that subtle sensation, and that's what guides us through the whole body. You work so hard for that, and because on the previous 2 courses, the same thing happened to me, where I just lost my focus, I lost my awareness, and I just gave up. And I was like, oh my God, it's happened again. And put me on a bit of a downer, actually. I went through this like kind of mini depression. I was like, oh, I messed it up again, all that hard work, blah, blah, blah. And I was just kind of going into meditation and just kind of like, I couldn't focus and pinpoint the certain areas and pay attention to the body. I was just kind of like, spent the whole hour listening to my mind and my thoughts and stuff like that. I was still able to sit still for an hour, but I'd lost the whole thing. And it kind of put me into this like, this kind of mini depression. I was like, man, all my hard work. But, and I was like, I need to do something about this, because I knew I was going to be serving the next course. And I thought, I need to fix up. So what did I do? You guessed it, I fasted. So fasting is not permitted here, but we're actually, as an old student, like I said, after midday, you do fast past 12 o'clock, so there's no eating after midday. So what I done, at dinner time, I didn't eat anything after 5:30 until the next day 5:30. So I done a 24-hour fast, just liquids, and then I broke it with just oranges as well. So by the time the next day, that's when I ate again. And what happened? It completely purified me, cleansed me. It was actually my rest day that day. So, and I had this like 3 hours sleep in the middle of the day, where I don't know what it is with sleeping and fasting, but it really gets to work with getting rid of anything that's not there. And guys, how easy is sleeping and fasting? You literally don't have to do anything, such a remedy, like, because often like food fuels the madness. That's what I realized. Food is the fuel for the madness. So when we stop that and we actually go inside and catch some rest, and I've really seen like, things leaving. So that fast really helped me out, and I went back into the meditation that evening after eating the oranges, and the awareness was back. What did I realize is that this is what the technique is about, is to remain equanimous. So Goenkaji speaks about this in the last few discourses of the 10 days, about not getting attached to when you have that flow and all the energies running through the body and the sensations are everywhere and you're just vibrating, and even the dissolving. I didn't even get to that point, but he says not to get attached to that. And when he said that, I thought, all right, cool, like, because the whole thing is craving and aversion. If you've been to Vipassana, you know what I'm talking about. And I thought, right, I'm not craving sensation. I'm not going, okay, yeah, I'm going to get into meditation and I want this full body thing, and when it comes, I'm going to be like, yes, I've got the sensation. It's not like that, when you're in the meditation and the energy's flowing and the sensations are there, you just accept it. But the real test of equanimity is when it's not there. So this is where I've failed before, is that when I've left Vipassana and I've sat there and I haven't felt this flow, and I haven't been able to tune into the subtle level of the body, and I've just scrapped it all off. I've just given it up. I'm like, well, this obviously isn't good, and I've lost all my hard work, and that's not remaining equanimous. That's having an aversion. So this is developing more and more sankharas, which is keeping on the suffering, keeping on the misery, which is what we've been learning for the whole 10 days. So it's easy to remain equanimous when you're in the swing of things. And you're flowing, but how can you remain equanimous when the sensations are not there? So I kind of went through this process of understanding that it's just observing. It doesn't have to be the wonderful flow all the time. It's just about observing how you are feeling and experiencing the reality as it is, because that's what Vipassana means. Vipassana means to experience, to observe reality as it is, not how it appears to be, not how you would like it to be, as it is. So I'm doing course manager now. I've stayed on and I'm doing course manager. It's day 5 of the course now. So many realizations, I'm gonna end this video now because the battery sign is coming up. I should order more batteries so I can continue to talk, but I'm gonna make another video talking about my experience as a server here. Really important to integrate the practice, but I'm gonna leave it at that, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.